What a great story. A fine cast of interesting characters and a lot more detail than the gospel usually gives us. We learn of Jesus' special friendship with Lazarus, and Martha and Mary, his sisters. We learn that Jesus delayed in going to visit them, even though he had received word that his friend was really sick. We're told that Martha and Mary were deeply disappointed that Jesus hadn't come earlier to cure their brother and prevent his dying. We see the curiosity and the wonder of the folks who had come to comfort the grieving sisters. And in this gospel, we're even told how Jesus felt. He became perturbed and deeply troubled. I think a better translation of the original Greek in John's Gospel would go this way. He was deeply moved. He shuddered in his spirit. And this story contains the shortest verse in the New Testament, but a compelling one. 2 words. John chapter 11, verse 35. Jesus wept. If John's gospel had been a tabloid, I can imagine the front page headline: Jesus raids tomb. An intimate behind-the-scenes look at Jesus, his friends, and his feelings. Well, fortunately, John didn't write a tabloid. And Jesus didn't raid the tomb of Lazarus. But he did take charge of the situation. A situation that appears to be impossible, irreversible, unsolvable, a closed case. Lazarus is dead, and it's been 4 days. But still, Jesus instructs the bystanders to take away the stone that sealed the grave. And the gospel reports Martha's very practical response: Lord, my brother was buried 4 days ago. If you open the tomb, there will be a stench. A stench. In some old classical paintings of the raising of Lazarus, artists often depicted the people in the crowd literally holding their noses or covering their faces with veils and cloths, lest they become nauseous and sick. Like St. John, writing in his gospel, these artists wanted to make sure that we knew that Lazarus is really dead. Jesus he's not just waking up somebody who's taking a nap. He's not rousing somebody out of a coma. He's messing with death, and it smells bad. This is Jesus. Jesus, who had already given sight to the blind, hearing to the deaf, speech to the mute, strong and agile limbs to the lame, and clean skin to the leprous. But this is something altogether different. Here, Jesus has power to give life to the dead. He has power over what stinks in our lives and in the world. He has power over what makes us sick to our stomachs. He has power over the stench that rises from death inflicted by violence, terror, and the horror of war. Jesus has power over the foul smell of abuse, prejudice, hatred, and injustice. He has power over whatever entombs us when we're buried in our fears and anxieties, in our loneliness and grief, in hopelessness or despair, in our selfishness and greed, in our lust and our anger, in our jealousy and pride. He has power over whatever may seem to us to be impossible, irreversible, unresolvable. This morning we are thousands of miles away from Bethany, more than 2,000 years away from this scene in the gospel. But the Lord is as close to us here in St. Zepherin's Church as he was to Martha, Mary, and Lazarus in the time of their grief and loss. Jesus has power. He has power in our lives. Power to forgive the unforgivable, to save what's been lost, to mend what's been shattered into pieces, to heal what's been deeply wounded, to comfort those whose grief is unconsolable, to reconcile what's torn asunder, to resolve what defies solution, to restore what seems beyond redemption, to bring light that cuts through utter darkness, to bring hope to those who have lost all hope of hope, to bring peace that surpasses all our understanding. He has power to bring life again to what death has claimed. Jesus said to Martha, I am the resurrection and the life. If you believe in me, even if you die, you will live. And all who live and believe in me will never die. Do you believe this, Martha? And she answered, yes, Lord, I believe. Now Jesus asks us, you and I, this morning, do we believe? Do you believe? Do I believe in the power of Jesus? Do I acknowledge the power of Jesus to be greater than any of my power? Do I pray for the power of Jesus in my life? Do I hope for the power of Jesus in my life? Do I expect the power of Jesus in my life? Do I wait for the power of Jesus when he seems to delay? Do I welcome the power of Jesus when he comforts and challenges me as much as I welcome it when he comforts and consoles me? Do I trust the power of Jesus to do what seems impossible, to turn around what seems irreversible, to be the answer to what seems unresolvable in my life? Lent is a time for us to open ourselves to the power of the love Jesus has for each of us, and to the power of the love of Jesus for this world of ours. As Lazarus, Mary, and Martha were Jesus' close friends centuries ago, so are we his beloved now. As Jesus wept for Lazarus, he weeps for you, and he weeps for me today. Not long after Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, Jesus laid down his life for us. He shuddered in his spirit and gave himself on the cross so that we might have life and have it to the full. Like Lazarus, Jesus was entombed, buried for us so that we might be raised up. Jesus was tightly bound in burial bands so that we might be set free from all that binds us, all that ties our hands, all that keeps us down, all that robs us of our hope for peace. The power of Jesus' love for us on the cross and the life he won for us in his death are the power of the love and life we will share at this table this morning in his body and blood, in the bread and cup of the Eucharist. the one who has power over death, invites us to share in the sacrifice, to share in this meal, the gift and the presence of his life and love among us, even this morning.